What's up, y'all? It's your boy KevOnStage. In the last 2 weeks, I've talked about how to get a wife, how to get a husband, and people said, hey, can you do how to keep a wife and how to keep a husband? And instead, I'm going to put that together into one video, maybe a little longer than usual. But today's video is basically how to stay married. My 10-year wedding anniversary is June 26th. I don't know a whole bunch, but I at least know how to be married for 9 years up until that point. So if you can get up to that point, then hey, you might be on your way. So first, I'm going to start off with men. How to keep your wife happy for the duration of your marriage. The number one most important thing, and pretty much where everything else flows, is that you don't have to keep your wife number one. You have to make her the only one. The only one. Pretty much everything flows down from there. You're never going to cheat on your wife if she's the only one. She shouldn't have to compete with another woman. It shouldn't be here and here and your wife slightly ahead. There should be no other picture. If you can make your woman feel like there is no one else that matters, she will do everything for her, for you. And the only way you can make her feel that no one else matters is to really have nobody else that matters. I'm not talking about being sneaky and all that stuff. You'll get found out. You'll get found out. And even if you don't get found out, you're not going to stay married if she's not the only one. There's always going to be a piece of you that belongs to somebody else, and that's dangerous territory. So keep her the only one. And not only does that count with, women, that comes with your career and other things. The two biggest rough patches of our marriage began with me not making my wife feel like she was the only one. One was an inappropriate relationship with a woman, nothing sexual, just too much talk with a woman that wasn't my wife. This is before the days of Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. I just talked to a woman too much that wasn't my wife. Inappropriate. So my wife didn't feel like she was the only one that matters. And that type of thing can bleed jealousy and lack of trust. And you can see that starts just bringing the foundation of your marriage out and just, breaking it down. And the other part was when my career was becoming number one. When I first started in comedy and I was working 19 hours at Boeing or whatever in commuting and then spending a lot of time doing comedy, and my wife didn't feel like she was number one or the only one, it started having big repercussions, big ramifications in other areas of our marriage. So that's really the most important thing with your woman. Make her be the only one, which means include her in your plans. Even if the plan's not fully thought out, what you have, your idea for the family, share that with her. So if it doesn't plan out, at least she knows where you were trying to go with it. Then she can be involved. So for women, the most important thing for your husband is to manage his ego. Most men have big egos or have egos and pride. And it's about managing it. Now, I'm not saying just to build into it. You have to manage it. What that means is allow him what he needs to allow his ego to grow. And then sometimes you have to check his ego and allow him to grow even better. When I lost my job, my wife managed my ego to perfection. She, I don't want to use the word coddle, but I can't think of anything else. But she soothed me when I was broken, and then she challenged my ego, to get me started. And that's the sign of a mature woman. When you know your man well enough that you know when to not nag him, not provoke him in that sense, but when to challenge him and when to comfort him, basically. We'll go challenge and comfort. And the better you manage your ego, manage the ego of your husband, the better he will be. And the other thing with men is to respect him. That goes into managing your ego. Men are huge on respect. If he feels disrespected or lack of respect, he'll do all types of stuff to earn his respect. Most of the time going out of bounds. And he won't say, I'm doing this because you're not respecting me, but that will be the reason. So those two things that each person can do. And then together, a couple of things that I've learned is, one, argue with respect. Me and my wife have arguments. I don't want to paint this picture that we have this perfect marriage that doesn't include arguments. We have arguments. But what we do is keep the argument to the topic on hand. We don't argue about stuff that happened in the past. We're arguing about this. And when I'm arguing with you about whatever, the dishes or whatever it is, I'm not, calling you names or doing all that stuff because you're getting off track with the point of the argument. And this kind of boils down to my next point. You are a team. You have to remember that you are a team and not competitors. A lot of times in relationships, marriages, men and the women are competing. It's tit for tat. Well, you did this. Well, I did this. When I was younger, my sister, I got in trouble. And my dad was, scolding me or whatever. And I said, well, Michelle smoked a cigarette 3 months ago. And my dad was like, what does that have to do with anything? You're just being spiteful. And what he was telling me is that has nothing to do with anything. You don't want to handle the fact that you're getting in trouble. So instead of just owning it and taking your, your punishment, you want to bring up something else. So you want to split the blame. Sometimes you just got to own your mistake and don't be spiteful and don't be playing this tit for tat game. Because when you're on the team, we don't need to break each other down. We need to build each other up and be on the same path. And the last thing, apologize with sincerity, even through your teeth if you have to. Sometimes we have arguments and whatever, and you have to apologize if you are wrong. And not that, well, I'm sorry if you were offended. No, I'm sorry that what I did made you feel the way it did. And I don't plan on doing that again. Sincerity is the key to a true apology. Even if you have to apologize through your teeth, like, hey, I'm really sorry that I did that. It was wrong. Because it takes a person to, boy, you got to have your pride in check if you want a true apology. And also, even when the other person's apologizing, the recipient of the apology, don't take that as an opportunity to beat them down. Like, boom, you're apologizing, and I'm just pile on, pile on, pile on. When you're teammates, you don't do that, and you can, the mark of a mature couple means you can, even in your apology, I can find my fault in what, your apology is, if it's necessary. If you did this, I can sometimes say, I can see why what I did caused you to react that way. You know what I mean? Give them the benefit of the doubt. I hope that helps. Your boy KevOnStage, and I will see you tomorrow.
What's up, everybody? It's KevOnStage. Go subscribe to my YouTube page. Don't you be bitter. Just follow me on Twitter. What's up, everybody? It's KevOnStage. Go subscribe to my YouTube page. And don't you be bitter.